please welcome the next team to present their paper titled The Creator Effect: How Influencers Shape Shopping Choices Across India's Consumer Landscape.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sneha, and we have Manvi and Niyati here. Today, we are about to present to you the result of a year-long exploration at Plum Insights, where we've been trying to understand how creators are shaping consumer choices and decisions. In this paper, what we will do is propose a framework for brands to truly understand how brands can harness the power of creators to make a difference and truly connect with their audience. In 2024, as has much been discussed today, consumers are surrounded by endless choices, and a new wave of creators are influencing them. We set out to break this down, to understand how decisions are being shaped in today's consumer landscape, and to see how, as we researchers, can help brands find meaning in this mayhem. In fact, today, creators aren't just posting cute cat pictures or their latest outfit haul. They are shaping the way that India buys, how it buys, and even when it buys. This is what we call the creator effect. Online consumer shopping behaviors are longer and more complex than they ever were before, across multiple touchpoints. So while shopping was never as simple as see, want, buy, today it's more like scroll, laugh at a cat meme, click on a link, watch a tutorial, scroll some more, like, share it with a friend who's been searching for something similar, add to cart, and check out immediately, maybe sometimes much later. So my point being that consumers are perpetually engaged with content, and creators today are acting as the modern shopkeepers on online platforms and are directly influencing, impacting consumer decisions. But with this endless content competing for consumers' attention, how do you actually make people stop and listen and even look? So our research doesn't talk about what brands should do. It talks about how to do it right. What we're proposing is a framework, an intuitive framework, that helps brands align with creators in ways that actually resonate. If brands want to build trust, loyalty, and long-term relationships with their audience, they need to make these collaborations count. So what we did was followed a three-pronged approach to identify strategies to enable these brands to engage more deeply with these creators. We talked to about 50 creators on how they engage with shopping and influence shopping habits, a range of creators, mega, mid, micro, representing a range of consumer categories from fashion, tech, lifestyle. We did content analysis. We paid some serious attention to Instagram and YouTube, observing the patterns of engagements of brands, creators, and consumers across multiple categories. We also spoke to about 40 consumers across the country, a mix of Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities, meeting people from different walks of life, different levels of engagement in online shopping, to really see what went on behind every shopping decision. What we arrived at were 4 simple elements. So this is our not-so-secret sauce of harnessing the magic of content creators. First up, the brand, the kind of brand you are. So not every brand is the right match for the creator, so it's important to know who you are and why consumers are buying into you before you partner with the creator. The second step is the type of creator. So aligning the creator's values, individual values, with the values of the brand, build an authentic partnership. Thirdly, category nuances. Because in every category, the shopping behavior looks so different online. What works for the luxury category will definitely not work in the casual snacking category. So it's all about knowing your audience. And finally, the content strategy, the game plan, the actual tactical communication, the piece of content that goes out on a social media platform, or any platform for that matter. So all of this is probably intuitive, but when you combine all 4 pillars, it becomes a very powerful blueprint for brands to truly harness the creator economy. And in today's attention deficit world, where every consumer knows that they are being marketed to, the challenge is in making them notice. Not through bold and intrusive tactics, but it's about cutting through the noise with relevance and meaning. So I'd like to explain each of these 4 pillars. First up, the type of brand. We all know that understanding consumer motivations towards a brand is the first step towards hitting the right tone with the audience. And motivations across brands, across categories may differ, but broadly we can think of brands in terms of brands that are upscale brands, that are trying to relate, that are reinforcing a sense of exclusivity. Narratives of luxury, status, sophistication are what exude value. The creator's role here is all about selling the dream, sipping the champagne, traveling the world, and perhaps wearing brands that you can barely even pronounce. On the other hand, we have a whole lot of brands that are the everyday heroes. Think stylish outfits that are perhaps bought at a budget, budget-friendly gadgets, home goods that don't break the bank. Here, the creator's role is to generate relatable content that reinforces a certain sense of memory. So tutorials, how-to guides are some examples. So the first pillar being the role of the brand, the role that the reason why consumers buy into a brand, that is very important as the first step to engaging with the creator. Secondly, the second pillar is all about the type of creator. So after having spoken to about 50 creators at different stages with different ethos and value, these creators very often think of themselves as artists, as experts. So it's essential to look at what their content niches is as well as the creator's personal motivation and attitude to partner with brands. This gives a much clearer picture of the creator-brand compatibility. So the first set of creators that we like to put together in a bunch is a value creation lot. So these are creators that are your favorite teachers, for example. Passionate problem solvers, ready to drop these knowledge bombs. Think deep dives, people who build deep dives into categories such as tech, beauty tips that actually work, kitchen tips. These creators can lend credibility and established expertise for a particular brand or product. Then we have a whole set of opportunity-driven creators who gained attention perhaps from viral posts and now seek recognition. Their content focuses on trendy lifestyles and aesthetics, very useful in categories such as fashion and home decor. These creators may not build lifelong trust, long-term trust, but they can help a brand seek immediate traction faster. So it's important to create, when they're creating content and when a brand is seeking to collaborate with them, it's important to understand the creator's motivations, and that will help decide who to partner with. Manvi, over to you.
Thank you, Sneha. Let's look at the third pillar, which is that of product category. Now, every product category has its own set of consumer expectations and behaviors. And the kind of content that consumers expect in each category is also different. Take the beauty category, for example, a highly visual, a highly dynamic world where trends pop up every week, where new products also pop up every week. This is a category for those who are ready to experiment and indulge in a little retail therapy. So consumers here tend to be a lot more experimental. They're used to highly visual stimuli, and they expect that from brands. Now, content can influence consumers in two ways, both direct and indirect. In terms of direct influence, this is the kind of content that's to the point, that provides very tangible stuff in the form of reviews, tutorials, and comparisons. So think of a creator like Tarini Peshawariya, who is showcasing or doing a 5-minute product demonstration of a newly launched lipstick range. On the indirect spectrum, you have creators who make more abstract and immersive content, content that integrates brands into daily routines and lifestyles. They build up a desire for a new product or a new category. As for creators who rule the space, it's all about those who carry codes of expertise and passion, who love the beauty category, who are known for their love of the beauty category, and are excellent at producing immersive content. I'd also like to take you through the example of the tech category. Now, this is a high-stakes category, right? Decisions are typically a lot delayed, a lot more research. So we're talking about detailed reviews or product specs that are not easy for average consumers to grasp. Now, the direct content here is, of course, things like reviews, comparisons, and tutorials that help people make those decisions immediately. So think of an influencer like Vineet Malhotra, who puts out his top 10 mixer grinder brands all under a 5K budget. But in the tech category, like in the beauty category, it's also not just about what you want. It's about what you never knew you needed. So creators also build aspiration through immersive product placement and demonstrations. Imagine technical Guruji's latest unboxing of the iPhone 16, talking about the camera's superior capabilities and kind of planting that seed in your head. Now, the creators that work in this category are your YouTubers who've got it all: the number of views, the subscribers, and enough comprehensive videos to fill your weekend. Finally, the fourth and last pillar is that of the content strategy, which is all about actual content and how a brand communicates its message via individual posts. Now, based on our conversations with consumers, as well as an evaluation of India's most visited brand pages, we arrived at 3 creator content spaces. The first being engagement and information-driven content. This is all about sparking that immediate interaction, making it easier for consumers to shop for products. So this kind of space focuses on direct influence. It gives you clear, actionable information like how-to guides, tutorials, product reviews. This is the kind of content that makes consumers add to cart as fast as possible. The second content space is that of inspiration and creativity-driven. Think of it as creating a connection that feels less like a sales pitch and more like an inspiring story. So imagine a fashion brand teaming up with a creator to produce a series of lifestyle videos. They're not just showcasing outfits, but rather they're weaving the brand into everyday moments, just like how to style the dress for a night out or a brunch with friends. It's not just about selling clothes. It's about making the brand a part of the consumer's life journey. Think of Ranveer Brar, who's talking and making all these delicious recipes, and he's using these pots and pans. You might not know where they're from, but they've planted a seed in your head again. You'd want to own those pots and pans in your own home kitchen. So this kind of content ignites curiosity. It fuels aspiration. When consumers are not making an immediate purchase, they're mentally bookmarking what they'd like to own in the future. Lastly, the third space, which is that of hybrid content. This combines the best of both worlds, which is information and inspiration. So you might have seen videos like "What's in my bag" on Instagram or YouTube, right? So creators casually show off the kind of products they own. They talk about their favorite products, but they take it a step further. They drop the product description links in their description box. They make it easy to turn that moment of "I'd like that, I'd want that" into, here's how you buy it. It's like they're closing the loop between aspiration and action in one smooth move. This kind of approach works really well in categories like fashion and home decor, where visual appeal is everything. Now, finally, just to recap our framework, for a brand to partner with creators to truly capture attention in a way that resonates with consumers, it's not just about selling the right product or the right positioning. It's about adding value to their lives in ways that feels genuine. Think of it this way. Brand type ensures that creator collaborations resonate with how consumers view the brand in their lives. Choosing the right type of creator builds authenticity and trust. Understanding category nuances tailors strategies to meet category-specific behaviors that consumers have. And finally, a well-crafted content strategy amplifies every interaction. Finally, for researchers and research partners looking to understand this creator audience, our study offers some practical insights on how to engage them effectively. Now, creators aren't just a marketing channel. They're people with deep passions. Firstly, it's about understanding their personality and work styles, so approaching them with sensitivity and respect is important. Next, recruiting creators requires creativity. They're flooded with brand requests, so your approach really matters. Direct outreach on Instagram and LinkedIn via official channels works really well. So does partnering with agencies that are familiar with the creator landscape. Thirdly, when you talk to creators, remember to humanize the interaction. For many creators, content creation is personal. It's not just a job. And they may not love the influencer label, Some of them are artists, writers, designers, or even journalists. And lastly, when managing group discussions, it's important to be mindful of their diverse backgrounds. Different creators bring different perspectives. So structuring your sessions to acknowledge these differences is key. That's it. That was our framework. Thank you for tuning in.